Lunch Money Lambert, Jeff Malott. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Yeah. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation.
Kayak Bass Nation is presented by Dugout Bait and Tackle. Go to dugoutfishing.com to find everything you need for your next kayak bass fishing tournament.
Hope you enjoy the show. Jeff Malott, Lunch Money Lambert, Lego.
Also sponsored by REVO Sunglasses. Go to revo.com, use code KBN25 to save 25% off your next order. REVO, best lenses on earth. Also sponsored by Western Sun Vodka. Go to westernsundistillery.com and use the bottle finder to find a bottle near you.
Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation.
All right. Welcome to KBN Live. What is up, man? Happy Monday.
Here we are.
We're back. Got a good show tonight, man. People are trickling in here on Monday on YouTube and Facebook. As you do that, if you saw earlier tonight, we're having a REVO's Throwing Shades Monday giveaway, giving away some sunglasses. So all you got to do, it's going to be pretty easy tonight. We want you to share the stream on Facebook if you're there, because that helps us out, and it's free and easy. All you got to do is click. But really what we're going to do is pick a comment, somebody who comments from either YouTube or Facebook, and that'll be the winner. Ooh. So the more times you comment, the more chances you have to win. I'll put all the scrolling names in a deal, and then I'll pick a winner after the show's over. So share us on Facebook, but really just comment on YouTube or Facebook. Let us know where you're listening from, and there we go. We'll pick a winner of some sweet REVOs, and REVO's going to be at Icast this week. We'll see what they have to debut down there.
That's correct.
Some chatter glasses or anything crazy like that?
I think me and Darcizzle are going to be selling REVO bikini-clad posters.
Really?
Yeah, so you choose who your favorite is. I'm not trying to put any pressure on anybody, but...
okay. Everything's okay these days, Ryan, so you should get equal love is what you should get.
I would hope so. I mean, yeah. I'm out here grinding, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So as you guys come on, please help us and share this. And then, like I said, comment on YouTube or Facebook. Go over and subscribe on YouTube if you're not already, as always. So we got a big show tonight. We got Jason Borofka, a.k.a. JT's dad, on here. He's going to give us a JT update. We're going to talk a little Bass Opens with him, because he's had a kind of an up and down year, but he's sitting pretty good in the open standings. And then I want to get his opinion on that new information drop on the Opens themselves.
For sure. You saw social media blow up when that announcement was made, and there wasn't a lot of positivity that came from it. I know there were some people that came to the defense of Bass, as always, but that seemed like a tough move on something that was kind of built on the availability of the Opens being open. But We'll see.
Right. And then the second half of the show, who else we got coming on, Ryan? You got another special guest lined up.
My boy Ryan Harder from Zman. I don't know if you guys have seen yet. Zman dropped a little teaser video, and Wired to Fish picked it up as well. The new Zman Hellraizer topwater thing. I want to talk to Ryan about that. I want to see what the thought process was behind it. Does it work? Is it a gimmick? I want to know personally. As a Z-Man representative out here, was this like Fat Cat Newton's casting rod that had a bait caster on top and a spin caster on the bottom? I want to know.
Right. I've got a real article of it pulled up here, so I don't know if they're trolling us or what, but we'll share that.
We're gonna find out. I'll tell you in a day when I get down there tomorrow night.
Yeah. So you're gonna be down at Icast. I'm sure we can watch Ryan's Instagram story and see what's going on down there. But We talked about REVO. Let's talk about the other sponsors before we continue on. Of course, Dugout Bait and Tackle. They'll be down there at Icast perusing around for new stuff, won't they? Jamie will be down
yeah. Steve-O and Jamie will be on the prowl for sure.
Okay. And then Western Sun, of course. They won't be at Icast as a
They will be.
exhibitor, but they'll be
They
down
will
there.
be at Icast.
They'll be down there one way or the other. So,
As a refreshment.
yeah, as a refreshment, as a hidden refreshment. So we
If you
appreciate
see me at any Icast bar, Western Sun on me. So track me down and I'll buy you some Western Sun.
There you go. You heard it here first. And then, of course, I'm sure we'll see a abundance of Game Changer posts coming up later in the week.
There hasn't been a lot of. You talk about real hype before ICAST. Generally, this is the week where we see kind of those build-up, dramatic, dark room, dimly lit kind of precursors. We hadn't really seen a lot. I don't know if the game's going to change this year. I'm kind of nervous.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's been kind of, like you said, quiet especially from the heavy hitters, so to speak, the companies that have a lot of money in R&D and stuff. Not much to drop.
What do you
On
feel
the
like's
kayak
left,
side.
Jeff? Like, what do you feel like we have left here as far as game changers go? What bridge have we not crossed yet?
Maybe an airboat.
An air.
Maybe
All right. A
jet boat,
helicopter.
jet boat
Yeah.
kayak. That'd be
Okay.
kinda
A
cool.
drone kayak.
Yeah, underwater submarine drones outfitted.
Do you
with,
think underwater cameras is going to be the next thing? And we can talk about this with Jason too, because he's seen all the.
I mean, there's already underwater drones available that you can remote control and swim around down there.
Is that going to be it? Do you think it's going to be submarines swimming your bait to the fish? Is that going to be the next easiest maneuver to catch fish, you think?
just with a tiny grappling hook and just grab them, bring them to the surface?
How long do you think before they feature live bait at ICAST? Like just a new breed of shiner.
That'd be like bottled water. Like the scheme they pulled on us with bottled water. They just figured out how to sell you water in a bottle. You can just rebrand bait as something new.
So smart. So smart. Power bait? Would you call it that? What would you call it?
Better than power bait. It's live bait.
Damn it.
I don't
Okay.
know.
All right.
Yeah. Let's see. News of the week, man. There was one of the biggest news drops of the week is right here, man. Let me throw this on.
Oh, okay.
Moderator extraordinaire and IT person / chat monitor of the live streams, Katie Baca. They're adding to the clan there, man. Baby Baca. Look at the little Old Town jersey. How about that?
That's cute. I'm super happy for them, man. Katie and Ryan, love seeing them at events on the road. They're always hanging out, always putting a smile on people's faces. Congratulations to you two. That is awesome.
Yeah, it's big stuff. So congrats to them.
It's good. Listen, you talk about big stuff. I can't imagine Ryan Baca makes a small baby. Like that's gonna be a big old baby right there for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big baby. A little Cleveland Browns fan. I don't know if they're watching this, but they'll get a kick.
Cleveland Browns probably better sign him right now in the womb. Send the contract over.
Yeah, I'm just
You
playing.
have the opportunity.
Big time Steelers fans, rivals. The other news of the week from Bass, where we already talked about Bass a little bit with their opens, but John Stewart out at Bass.
I didn't know how we were going to broach that topic, but you decided. So
Here we are.
I think I saw the email shared from one of the local Bass Nation groups. But yeah, apparently John Stewart is out at Bass. Again, we don't know if this is April Fool's or what, but feel free to chime in the comments. Is this good, bad, or indifferent? I don't know if you know who John Stewart was, but he came on here and came on the show and basically said that kayakers shouldn't fish except in the daylight and 30 yards off the bank. So he definitely made a name for himself on the nation for sure.
Yeah. And, John's been around a while and done a lot of stuff on the bass boat side for sure. Runs all that, the Bass Nation stuff over there. So to read his email, and basically he wanted to continue on with them, but he couldn't work remote. And he just said, hey, enough's enough. So good on him. He's going to open, look like a fisherman's lodge over on Grand Lake or near Grand Lake. So that's close to me. So good for him. Enjoy retirement.
I appreciate his approach. Like,
Yeah.
I tried to work with you, didn't want to. So see you later, pal.
Yeah. So I'll be curious to see what they do. Does that affect the kayak series in any way? Do they say, you know what, we got enough on our plate, we're not doing this anymore? Or does someone else take it and run with it? I'll be curious to see what they do with that. I don't know.
Jesse made a good point. Who's going to lead the kayak tournaments now?
I'm assuming Dwayne Wally. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know who's doing it. Wayne probably text me for that one. But
Yeah, that was Jeff again. please.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously they've got Turney X there, and Dwayne has been a resource for them, but I don't know who will actually run. They only have one left this year, but
Yeah.
who will
Well,
run that?
but I mean, I would assume like going forward, they're trying to set up the classic that's going to be held out of Knoxville this next year. So there's obviously that kayak 5 minutes is going to tie into that. So they're going to have somebody to run that and hopefully set up the schedule. And I mean, I think they were doing scheduling around this time last year. Like they were trying to finalize scheduling around Icast, between Icast and September last year. So I really wish Jay Wallen would watch our podcast, Jeff, so he wouldn't message us during it the whole time.
I know. I'm glad I got the baby picture off the screen before an inappropriate meme came across the screen. You never know what could happen.
Love it.
We got folks asking, will Bass hire someone that actually knows how kayak tournaments work? And Jesse Halverson saying, no info on the Classic. It's not the Classic. It's the Bassmaster Kayak Series Championship. The Classic is, we already know what the Classic is. But yeah, I don't know, man. It'll be curious to see how that shapes up. I hope, there's a few really, really highly qualified kayak tournament directors out there that would do a fine job if they would just write them a check and say, hey, take care of this. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
We tried that. We pushed for that for a couple years.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. And we got Slay Nation over on YouTube watching, and WizardWorks. I think WizardWorks is who is that? Who is WizardWorks? What's your name? Real name? I don't know what your real name is on YouTube.
What if these people just used their names so we would know who they were? Huh?
Yeah.
Huh? Is it Wild Bill? Did Wild Bill make a new name?
I don't know. Hey, Bob says the Kayak Classic's heading to Watts Bar. That's what he said.
I'm
Bob
sorry.
knows.
Well, honestly,
Oh, that's Ramel. I'm sorry. WizardWorks is Ramel.
my worst finish on Watts Bar is third. So I'll go back to Watts Bar because that seems to be the only Tennessee River lake that I can fish nowadays. So
Well, there you go. That'd be good.
oh shit, never mind. I didn't qualify. So I'll stay at the house.
Oh, that sucks. I didn't either, so I don't know what I'm going to do. Let's still have one more shot. I think I can do a tournament this fall. I may even come over to Pickwick because I need redemption.
Oh, I was going to say, what's the last one? Pickwick? Yeah.
Yeah, Pickwick. That's only 6
fun.
hours from here.
Yeah, we can make a run at that one, I guess, if we need
Yeah.
to. If they would announce that it's Watts Bar, I honestly probably would fish Pickwick to try to qualify.
Can you and I team fish it? Can we Bluetooth gang it and get in together, qualify together? Can we do that?
Well, that's going to require probably one of us to catch fish, at least pre-fishing. So I don't know. I don't know if we're going to make it.
We'll try.
Let's give it a shot.
All right. Well, what do you say we get Jason in here, man? Talk a little.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Fishing,
Let's do it.
Fishing and JT, a little fishing and competition.
Fishing and competition. Damn. Oh, boy.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Jason?
There he is.
What's up, Jeff, Ryan? Man, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
What are you doing, you old pro?
Just hanging out. I'm at what time is it? 7:40. So I'm drinking some coffee.
Whoa, I like
Coffee.
that.
Yeah.
Long night ahead, huh?
Nah, yeah, it was my turn to sleep with JT last night. We didn't have a night nurse, so I'm just
I
kinda
got you. I got
staying
you.
alive here. No, it's all good. I'm used to it, but I want to be up and at 'em for this. So
That's cool. You're a man after my own heart,
I want to
man.
go straight over my head.
Lambert drinks whiskey and stuff all night. I drink coffee 24/7. I can't drink all that other stuff.
Coffee's poison, brother. I ain't putting nothing like that in my body.
Just tar water.
How is JT? Tell us. I mean, obviously, it's been about a year since we did the whole Save JT tournament, and we obviously saw a huge outpouring of support from coast to coast on this. But how's little fella doing?
You know what? He's doing really good. That was an amazing time. If I went back to that, I can't tell you how good that made us feel. We were going through a lot at the time, transitioning from California to Texas, and then that all happened, and it was just like, I don't know. It just felt really amazing that you guys and actually the whole entire community, kayak community, was there for us and helped him out. And man, he's doing really good. He still has an extremely rare disease. He's not out of the woods at all. But overall, he's going to be 4 years old in September. He's growing. He's getting bigger. He's got a lot of really awesome things happening. I could get into some of the stuff from the lab, but I'll just start off with, he's got some very good head and neck control. He's able to get off his ventilator for 3 hours a day now. which they told us he's never getting off of that. And then tomorrow is his first day where he's going to be actually eating some food. So he's had swallow tests. He's able to drink water. He's getting stronger. He has so many amazing things going his way, and we try to just focus on those things and not think of the rough stuff. Like, he still has TPI, he's still weak, still can't walk, he's still on a ventilator, but overall he's extremely happy. He's doing very well. And as soon as he's cheering up, he had a little late nap, but we're going to bring him out here and so you guys can see him. Hopefully he's in a good mood, because he wasn't in a good mood. He wanted to go sleep for the night. We were like, you got to wake up, man. You're going to be getting up at 2 a.m. We can't be doing that. So anyway, he's a normal little boy now. And, not normal, but you can see the different stuff going on with him. He's excited. He puts up little fits and stuff. And right now he's still grumpy. Oh, wife's walking in there now. He's
watching truck tunes.
He's watching truck tunes. He's just like a little boy watching. He watches the trucks, dinosaurs, anything that smashes stuff or like eats things. That's what he likes. Yeah. And he's smiling more than ever. Things are good. And
I saw he had a pretty sweet little bulldozer-looking wheelchair there that he was cruising in. What's that about?
Yeah, that was really cool. So that thing, we it's not here now because we fit him in it. He tried it out and he had to prove that he can steer it. And we videotaped him. We proved it. Those type of things take some time, unfortunately. So it's 2 weeks from now. We get a fitting, and then I think in another week after that he gets it back. But we've been without it for 3 months. So
really, that's awesome, man. That's a cool looking little deal, man. I'm sure it'll give him some independence. Being able to go where he wants to and whatnot.
Yeah, the independence thing is huge. I mean, they tell us you're going to see his face light up, and just seeing him be able to move around on his own, it's just changes it. He's super excited, and I think that's just with any of us, and we got something really positive going on. We're just excited. We feel good, and moving forward.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's unreal. Tell people that are watching that were involved in that last year. You talked about after the fundraiser, the impact that made, being able to hire some more research staff or fund research staff going forward. What kind of ground were they able to make up over this last year on the research side of things with treatment or whatever?
Yeah, so I actually hung out with the doctor, his whole entire family, after I left my last tournament last weekend, and I was in Pittsburgh for the whole week, and we had a big barbecue with everybody in the lab and also the new people in the lab. And I actually talked to them today just to get some quick notes for this, because believe me, when these guys talk, they're talking another language when it comes to science. But the overall just that money that was funded and sent to the lab was allowed them to open up doors to hire not just one, but it also made the school look like, wow, you guys have funding coming in. We're going to approve some students as well, because it just looks good. It continues to look good, and they approve students. So I'm about to make a post, and it's going to be tomorrow, and you guys can go on JT's Instagram, and you'll see some photos that I took when I was with these young geniuses. And I was just blown away at how dedicated these people are dedicating their entire life to this project. I mean, literally, like, they're going through college for 4 years, studying TPI, trying to save not only my son, but the other 10 now that we know of, or other 9 kids in the world affected by it. But they've accomplished the biggest 3 things, and one is completed fully validated a drug screening platform. And I had them, they explained it to me, and I had them re-explain it to me today. So, like, fully validating a drug screening platform means that it's official. Like, they have a drug screening platform. They can screen drugs, and when they get hits, it's official. And official means if it's a real thing and it's working, it goes on to the next step. Sometimes, when they're just trying to prove stuff ahead of time, they're doing drug screening, but now that it's completely official, and it's all came about in the last couple months. So here comes JT. He's coming right now. What's up, buddy? Want to say hi to everybody? So he's on his vent. He's off the vent right now. Here, bud. Oh.
Good man. Look at him.
Hi.
What's
Say
up,
hi.
my man?
Hey, buddy.
He doesn't like to be on camera. He can see
He likes
himself.
He likes to play cool on camera. I like that.
Yeah, he's like, come on, where's mom?
Oh.
Oh, you can sit up. You're okay.
Say hi, big boy.
Say hi.
Can I pick
So
it
what's
for you?
up? What's up to the nation?
We're going to have to do a noon episode for JT. He is not. He, he ain't want to hang out with us tonight.
What's wrong?
Here.
Uh-oh. Okay.
He was mom.
Well, he wants his mom. He's not
Well,
allergic.
that's all right. That's all right.
He was smiling. I got him.
It's all right, JT. Thanks for coming by.
Here. If I hold him, he'll be fine.
So with that validation and all that stuff, there's another thing that kind of fell into place. Not only do we have some genius young people and some other doctors, but the other labs have opened up recently. We had 3 positive hits, meaning hits, positive things going for them. And now we have 10. We have 10 positive things going as far as not only just a treatment that keeps them stable, but also a cure. The doors that open up are more robotic robots that can screen. I mean, I can get deep on this. They can screen cells super fast now. It's not like they're working on 3 things and they're putting all their time and effort into 3. It's like they can hook up to this machine that scans overnight, will scan 50,000 different things at a time. And once they find a hit, then they need proof. So they have to scan it like 200,000 times to make sure that is actually a real hit. On top of that, some of the focus also too is one of the people, the younger gentleman that got hired, and his name's Jake, but he also finalized. It's called a mouse model. So sorry if someone's listening, you're sensitive to mice or whatever, getting, whatever. They don't make it. But
You can turn off the stream. We don't care about no rats unless they're spros.
So to make a mouse model is very difficult. It takes years. And these people have been able to fast forward it in just within a month and a half. And they've created the perfect mouse model, not just the one that we were using before. And now they're able to test everything. You have to test on a living cell organism, not only just JT's cells, but watching a room full of rats, doing their thing. And so they've got that done. I mean, the overall, if we look back at COVID, even when we moved, they were slowed down. Pittsburgh, the university, and the building that they're in is a government building. Unfortunately, it's in that building. And now that COVID restrictions are lifted, just in the last 3.5 months, things have sped up so fast. Before that, even when we were doing you guys were doing all the fundraising and that kayak tournament was going on, we still were not sure what was going on there because, I mean, we knew what was going on. They wanted to hire some people, but there was a lot of blockage to it. COVID stopped everything, it just slowed everything down. They could only have a certain amount of people in the room. Even if the room was huge, the size of a warehouse, you can only have so many people in there. But now that that's opened up, people are pouring in. They are still looking to hire a couple people. They have some job positions opening, but unfortunately the world's just in that situation right now where you can't hire anybody. Fast food place, McDonald's can't even hire anybody, and it's hard to find a scientist. But they have more than they had in the last 3 years, and they're jamming on it. And it was super. Hey, there you go.
There he is.
He's
There he is.
smiling now.
You better
Heavy
move.
though.
You better move.
JT, my man.
Mommy's doing her squats with him. There.
There he is. He gave us a look. He's like, yeah.
So yeah, we're just hanging in there, and we know, and I know that they're getting closer and closer and closer. The best thing is what we have already. He's getting treated with is just some extreme vitamin compounds that they discovered that can stabilize him, and overall, he's just a super strong kid, and he's growing, and he's making his own miracles happen too, and from his lungs. I mean, his lungs look clear. I said, man, he just looks better every time. That's why we're doing the vent trials. He can go more than 3 hours, but we're just weaning him off. We want to get it to the point where he can be off of that for a whole day. Once he starts eating food, that's part of speech therapy. I didn't know this, but you actually swallowing and all those muscles are the same muscles you use to talk. And so that's part of speech therapy. He has to swallow and eat first, then he can move on to words. And the independence with the chair is amazing. That chair is like, I looked it up. It's like more than my truck. Like the value of it, it's unbelievable. It's like high tech. Like I can't believe it cost that much. I mean, luckily this, the state and stuff covers most of it. So, but still, we're in a good spot, you guys. We are, I would say, a whole lot better than it was last year. I think our overall, just as a family in a whole, we got 24-hour nurse care now. Well, we don't have any now, but right now, but we have a lot more nurse care, and we're able to spend more quality time with JT instead of just, I mean, can you imagine just being a nurse for your kid? You sleep with them, gotta do all this stuff. Where do you, and then the time you spend with them, the fun time, it's exhausting. Now we're able to sleep, play with him, have a good time, and so things are good.
That's awesome. What does the testing process look like as far as early detection? Because that was one of the things with this, super rare disease. And one of the things that JT got lucky on initially was the detection and recognition that he might potentially have this super rare disease when y'all first had taken him in. Is there progress as far as detection now when these, infants come in with these cases?
Yeah. So as far as I know, when he got tested, the new test was this new, what do they call it, Tara? It was the
Genetic panel.
a genetic panel, but it was like more of a broader genetic panel test. And this genetic panel test at that time was not covered by insurance, would take up to 6 months to get done. JT's was fast forwarded into a couple months because of some people that the doctors had some pull. But now, as far as I know, those genetic panel tests are ready, available for bigger hospitals like Dallas Children's, the more high-tech hospitals. So if there is any other kids that are coming up with some extremely rare diseases, it's available now. It's been a couple of years since, and honestly, I don't know, but I would imagine they even have one that's faster and more accurate and more extreme. That I don't know how much rarer you can get than this, but yeah, it's more available, and the odds of at least someone in the U.S. having the same thing, it will be probably discovered at a young age. It's a lot better, unless you just get that. Unfortunately, you get that doctor that just assumes it's something else. Hemolytic anemia. We were very, very fortunate that we were at Stanford at that time, and I'm not dogging on any other hospitals because Dallas Children's is amazing. But there's thousands of hospitals all over. They were definitely on the cutting edge of the science of it, and we just fell into the right doctors at the right time. And if it wasn't for that, I don't think we wouldn't be anywhere where we're at now.
That's unbelievable, man. That's awesome to hear. And as always, it's always inspirational, really, to see you and your wife and how you guys kind of plow through it and handle it with such. I mean, I know there's probably tough times behind the scene, but you always seem to have smiles on your faces, and you're encouraging JT, and just kind of getting through that together as a family. So it's always good to see it.
Yeah, it's definitely one thing that Tara and I talk about a lot. I mean, we have our hard times, but you guys, I don't know. I'm sure you've seen parents and they're pushing a stroller around, or they got their kid is heavily disabled, maybe a very difficult Down syndrome situation. And most of the time when you see the couples together, they're really positive people when you meet them, and you kind of wonder, man, how do they do that? And honestly, I kind of know now, you got to be positive. Your son or whoever is in that situation doesn't want to see us, in a sad mood. It's okay to be upset sometimes, but you got to try to just be positive, and this whole thing changes your way on how you look at life and how you look at things, and things that were very tough for us before are tough even just for me. If I was extremely tough, if I was on the road traveling and was having a tough time, are not tough anymore. And it's in a lot of ways, it's made us better as a couple, and I know I feel a lot better about myself as well.
PMA, you know what they call it? PMA all the time and everything. Positive mental attitude.
Yeah.
It's contagious.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Ryan, I know
That's
we
great.
wanted to get a JT update, but we wanted to talk a little fishing with Jason too, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, you are a fisherman. You are part of this whole big game, and number one, tell us kind of how your season's gone in your own career, and then we want to kind of branch out into some of the news that's came out here in the last few days as well.
Oh, I've been hearing about that news a lot. Yeah. I've been very fortunate to be able to get back into. A lot of it was my family was pushing me to get back out there. Being cooped up in the house and taking some time off, and then now that I moved to Texas, decided to fish the Bass Opens. And if it wasn't for, be honest with you, if it wasn't for my family, like my mom and stuff that really been helping us out. And believe me, I'm not living luxury life. I'm tenting it, guys. I'm 44 years old. I'm tenting it. I'm cutting as much as I can just to make it work. But I'm having a great time fishing the Bass Opens. The season so far has been wild. Everybody's saying, yeah, man, you're doing so good. I feel like at some point, I wasn't doing that good. I mean, if I look at my finishes, I did have one top 10, and I got another check at Ross Barnett. But other than that, I mean, it's been a learning curve. I'll give you that. I mean, I'll be honest with you. And I went into this just saying I'm just very fortunate to be back out fishing, And I went into this going, I want to just try to make the elites. I'm not trying to win the tournament, just trying to just stay consistent and showing up.
Says it so casually. I'm just trying to make the elites. I'm not trying.
Yeah, I know. I get this like humble. I try to be the most humble person possible, but I'm telling you, I felt like on the West Coast, I just had it. Like it was like not saying I get a check every tournament, but it was pretty close. And coming out here, it's like, whoa, the lakes are massive. The competition is completely different.
There's people that can actually fish the further east you go is the craziest part, I think.
Yes. And when locals yes. Yes, that's true. When they say there's locals, I mean they're not joking around. These guys can catch them. And so the best shot was to fish all 9. And it's been unbelievable. I've never been to Florida. I've never been to any of these places. And just to show up and do as good as I have has been very fortunate. I've learned so much, and you gotta keep an open mind in this game. I don't care if you're young or you're older. You gotta keep learning. There's no way if you just say, "Oh man, I know it all," you're not gonna go anywhere. And I'm just learning as I go. Honestly, I learned a lot this last tournament. Trust me. Yeah, that was It's tough. Sometimes it's tough, but I've had really a great time with bass. The first time I've actually fished bass was with the kayaks, and that was up in third before the last tournament. I was like, I'm looking at it right now. I was in third place. So all you guys in the front, if any of you guys are watching, got lucky. No, I'm just kidding. It happens. We still have 4 tournaments to go, and from what I'm hearing, the next 2 are going to be the toughest tournaments. So
yeah,
we got Chesapeake Bay, and then we got the Red River, which they said is the one that's going to break.
9 pounds a day.
Why do they keep having tournaments on the Red River? Like Bossier City's budget must just be through the freaking roof to
Absolutely.
keep pulling tournaments to the. I mean, that has to be probably bottom 5 worst fisheries in the United States. Like, how do they continue to have tournaments there?
That's all I've been hearing. I can't find anything real. I'm real positive.
It's rough, dude. If you get into double digits, I feel like you've done a miraculous thing on the Red River.
Early September, I heard and everybody said that early September is the worst time to have a tournament there.
That's about the worst time you can fish a tournament anywhere on the southern half of the United States, I feel like. Yeah.
So there's a prediction out there. I don't know if that's right, but they said a third of the guys won't catch a fish.
Really?
I would say that's 200% accurate. I feel like a third would be lucky if if it's only a third that doesn't get a bite.
Have you slid back into any kayak tournaments since the championship stage
No,
walk?
I haven't, but I have messed around with my kayak out here a little bit. I got a little private lake, well, not a private lake, but a little small lake near Farmersville. Been goofing off in the kayak a little bit.
Have you entered any monthly online tournaments?
No.
Sounds like you're in the right spot.
You know what? Actually, I'll be honest with you guys. Gene Jensen, Fluke Master, Gene Jensen guy. When I roomed with him at the not the kayak classic, the kayak championship. When I was rooming with those guys, I didn't know who Gene Jensen was. Honestly, I didn't know. I was just out there with Greg Blatcher, Gene Jensen, and
Radiology tech.
I showed up to the sign.
Were y'all bank fishing or were you? Were you on the water?
We were just hanging out there, and I was listening to them talk about kayaks, and they were just telling about their kayak stories. And I'm just like, whoa, this another world I'm in. And I showed up with this plastic board. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I got my board. And they're like, no, you have to have the Ketchum board. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Ketchum board. That'd have been a better name.
Yeah. Duke missed out on that one.
Is that what's called? Ketchum board?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So Gene let me borrow it for the tournament. And since I haven't bought one, so I haven't really fished a tournament because every time I think about it, I'm like, oh, I got to order one of those, the legit board.
Yeah.
But I haven't given up on the kayak thing at all. I still got it. It's actually, I got a nice cover for it. My kayak's in good shape, and if there was one at Ray Hubbard right here, and I know ahead of time, I would jump right in it right away. I'm right next to the lake, so.
Okay.
There you go. Get a hold of Double Deuce Tran. He'll let you know.
Sounds like a challenge. Somebody put a tournament out there.
Yeah, Cliff Allen was watching. Cliff, let this man know when there's a tournament. We kind of piggyback on that about your season in the Opens. What'd you think about this news about the new qual standards for the Opens? You're fishing them all this year anyway. So
yeah.
What'd you think about that?
I've I brought up a response to a social, and I don't post anything negative on social media or anything. And when I first heard about it, people were saying, "Oh, now it's the trust fund baby league," and you have to be rich to fish it all. And I posted something on there. Of course, I lost the post, but I replied to this. It was on Clark Reams' page, and I said, I'm fishing all 9 this year, and I understand why some are upset, but I think for me, if I was to do it again, say I go next year and I'm fishing them again, it's going to benefit. I feel like it would be better for myself. I'm all in. I want to qualify. I don't want to just get lucky. And don't think I'm just saying to somebody, you're just getting lucky if you're fishing 3. I just feel like I'm all in. I'm trying my best shot to make it. Sleeping in a tent, I'm eating sandwiches. I don't want to hear someone say that it's a trust fund baby league, because my family and we're making a lot of sacrifices to make it happen. And when I do make it happen, it's going to be even harder to make it happen again. And a lot of things, I think I was a little bummed on. They said there's only 9 qualifying. I wish it was 12. It should have just kept it at 12. Well, 9, okay, but I get it. But realistically, I'm fishing 9 tournaments right now. If you look at Jason Christie and Scott Martin, I think they qualified at 6th and 7th in the points, and they're like the last ones to get in because of there's double qualifying in different ways. If someone double qualifies in one division, then it drops down the overall list. That's why you fish all 9. You have a better shot at making it. Now, if you look at it the other way, you're like, man, a local guy from the Southern Division comes in, kicks butt on his 2 home lakes he's good at, and then does halfway decent on one. He gets in. I put all this effort in. And then also, I put all this effort in, and they made it in. I'm not jealous. That's how it is. But that's how it is. That's how it is. But I feel like this way they're going would benefit someone like me that really is fully dedicated. And not that they're not. I'm just saying, with everything, from social media, everything, I'm all in. I want to do this for the rest of my life. Of course, I'm going to want to fish all 9. What are you going to do when you make it? If you're doing 3, how are you going to afford the elites? I mean, that's like $60,000-$70,000, and then from a elite guys version or guys in the pro, and I'm not going to name drop, but I know guys, a lot of them feel this is a good move because can you imagine fishing? You're in the elites, and they knock out so many guys. You know, a high percentage of guys can't make it. They might either, you know, they just don't requalify, but then you got guys coming in, and it's supposed to be the elites. And all I'm saying is, I really feel that you're going to have a more dedicated crowd fishing, and someone's going to hate me for this. I know it, but I think you're going to have a real dedicated crowd fishing all 9 and to qualify, other than just some guys getting in, you know, out of 3 tournaments. But
yeah.
Do you think that takes some of the weight away from it being called the Opens and being the Opens? Like, I feel like some of these divisions and how it's set up, it's the Opens because you can go build houses for 3 weeks, let's say, and take off a few days and go fish against these guys that, you know, maybe have more of an opportunity to travel around, and, you know, they're not doing X, Y, or Z to put food on the table. They can go focus on these tournaments and pre-fish and, you know, get their ducks in a row or whatever for all 9. But the open concept, I feel like they whittled a lot of the opportunity down, from my perspective, by taking it from the opens to saying you have to fish all 9. I want to put this in perspective for our audience, the kayak anglers. If Hobie said, hey, listen, you got to fish all 9. If you don't fish all 9, don't even sign up for my shit. How many people do you think are going to drop from a 200 angler field down to fish all 9? I would seriously venture to say maybe 60 to 80 is what you would see if kayak fishing made the same move that the Opens.
That's at our little bitty entry fee too, right?
Yeah, that's at a minuscule entry fee. I just wonder if that has hurt the overall opportunity for the masses, not for the, you know, obviously, if you look at bass fishing as a whole, you've got millions of people that do it all the time recreationally or in tournaments or whatever. Obviously, their goal is to make it to one of these professional leagues. But if you whittle it down and you say, okay, 100 of you guys or 120 of you guys have set your life up to where it allows you this opportunity to go. And people can say, oh, anybody can do it. Well, I mean, anybody maybe can do it, but I mean, that's still a good, you're looking at what, 35, 40, 45 grand in expenses total. Once you factor in entries, travel and whatnot, I mean, that's a good chunk of money. So you can't say anybody can do it because anybody doesn't have a, you know, let's say on the low end, a $60,000 bass boat in the garage to go out and be competitive in this stuff. I wonder how much it's pigeonholing to, like, you either have, you know, a super stable backing or it takes that much, you know, sacrifice or borrowing or betting on yourself, however you want to phrase it, to look into it. I don't know. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Back to my thoughts on that. So there is a lot of, I've been talking with some of the guys in the campgrounds and stuff. So there's already a bunch of guys that are dropping out. So they fork out all the money. They're banking on, they don't have all the money, or they're just going to save it for the next year. They're banking on making it. And once they've already finished a certain amount, I mean, especially after this last one, they're kind of like, look, I'm not going to make it. I'll just back out, lose my deposits, and move on. Another thing about, like, the participation, I don't know the exact amount, but I do know that, like, my buddy Sig Taylor was going to fish the Southern Division. He had his wife plan to sign him up for all 3 for the Southern Divisions right as soon as it went going on. And he had a timestamp that was 1 hour after the signups were over. And I said, you're in? He said, yes. He texts me 3 days later. He said, did you get a confirmation? And I said, yes, I just got it. But I signed up for all 9, so I have a priority. He got a confirmation, or he got notified that he wasn't in. Then he called 190th on the wait list. Out of 225 boats for the Southern, he was 190th an hour after the signups were done. So I think bass is, I don't know this, but if I couldn't believe it. And then another, if Cameron's watching, I think he was supposed to ruin it. I think he was delayed too, and I could be wrong. Cameron Smith, his buddy Cameron, and he was 160th or something. He was his timestamp was just like 10 minutes before 6. So the overall amount of people trying to get in, I'm pretty sure Bass saw this and they're like, whoa. And I know when I tell someone that, they're like, I didn't know that. And I'm like, he showed me. There's a lot. There's like 1,000 people trying to fish these tournaments. So they're like, okay, look, you guys want to fish, you got to fish them all.
Okay, so that's going to naturally thin that out. It may be in there.
It's going to thin that out, yeah.
Yeah.
But does that make it less of an open? Like if you're talking about,
I hear what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not necessarily this is an open event in your area. This is now closed to anyone that can't fish across the country. It's what
series.
It turned it into.
If you want to make the elites, you could still fish it.
Right, but I mean, if they're having the opens, here's my thing. Why not just make a middle ground? Why not just have a tournament series in the middle that is an actual series? You advertise it as that up front, and you don't change the thing that in people's perception has always been the working man's way to fish it in. You know what I mean? Like the Southern Open, whatever it is, like, okay, I may have to take off 3 weeks of work, but I feel like I can do well enough to shoot my shot and qualify to the elites. You've now made it to where you have to take at least minimum 9 weeks off of work and travel around the country. Like they've literally changed the entire paradigm of chasing the dream. And I get it. Some people want the dream more than others. Some people have the ability to sacrifice more than others, but you have literally changed the approach, for people's lives on how they can attain this certain goal of theirs.
Oh yeah. I was just talking, just before I got in here with my buddy Brent Shores, and he was like, hey, I think I can, I got one more year and I can't do it after that. That's it. I could probably do it next year. And after that, I'm going to take a break because that's a lot of money. I won't be able to do it. And, he was kind of like me. It's kind of like, I see it, but I'm angry because I really only want to fish 2 divisions or 1 division. I got other stuff I got to do. And yeah, I mean, this is my first year with Bass. From what I've seen in the past, they've changed the opens from what they had 2 divisions, 3 divisions. They've changed it a bunch. I'm sure if it doesn't work out for them, they're going to change it. I just feel my own way. Like if I didn't make it and I was fishing next year, I feel like I'd have a much better shot to make it instead of just because I know I would do everything I could to fish 9.
Do you think they'll fill the entire field? Do you think?
I just have this feeling, why haven't they filled it up? And I just have this feeling they're just waiting for guys with their legend exemptions to come back. You're already seeing, look what's happening. You're already seeing some guys leaving MLF for whatever reasons, their own reasons. I don't know. And then if you try to compare this to MLF, if you go and fish the MLF, the tour, which I have nothing on them. I mean, they're awesome people, awesome circuit. I just want to try something different this year. But if you look at that, they only how long they take 2 guys get to go to the Bass Pro Tour, 3 guys total every year. And then if you look at Bass, they get the 12 plus the Nation guy, which I think the Nation guy should always get to go because that's that's very difficult. Yeah. You have to go through thousands of people, and
over on the MLF side, I'm hearing 300 and 400 boat fields for some of those mid-level tournaments. The Toyota Series.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So they're going nuts over there too.
They're going nuts.
Yeah. Well, I'll be curious, man. I'll be curious to see what happens with the overall numbers for the opens, if it stays capped out or at least the waiting list get knocked out. Maybe Bass is just trying to, like you said, to set up people so that they know if they qualify, they can actually make the transition to the elites, not just qualify and have to go down the list to someone else. Because if you can do all 9, you're ready to go.
And maybe I'm just me thinking maybe. I mean, if I was Bass and I was the Bass Masters, I'm sure they have their own meetings and they get their own input from their anglers that are on the Bassmaster elites. And I'm sure there's got to be, because I'm hearing it. There's like an overall why you got to cut so many guys every year? We do all this. We're here. Why do you got to cut so many guys and let so many people in? I mean, this is supposed to be the elites. Let's make it harder to qualify. is that something that Bass is gonna? I don't know, because I'm sure at some point they got to be making money on the opens, right? All these anglers signing up.
They're floating it with
Bass
the
is
kayak guys.
making money on everything. That's
Everything,
one
right?
thing that I'm very confident that Bass is doing is they are turning a massive profit on every tournament they run on purpose.
Well, yeah, I tell you, we hope nothing but the best for the opens, and we hope you make the elites, Jason, so we can cheer for you. But what we want them to do is clean up the kayak side. That's what we want
For
them to do.
sure.
Get that side done.
Yeah. What's going on with that?
Well,
We were
don't know.
hoping you were running for kayak president, but I don't know if that's going on. I don't know. I mean, they're gonna have to hire somebody to not necessarily fill a position that John Stewart was in as far as running Bass kayak side. In my opinion, they definitely need to hire someone from the kayak side to run it. That's their only option to have any remote success.
I nominate Duke Tran. I've already told him that, and he cuts me out. So, but I still nominate Duke
I've
Tran.
nominated him 3 times, but I
Yeah.
don't feel like we're going to get to that point.
Was John Stewart? Was he running the Bass Nation on the West Coast too?
He was running from my understanding, he was running everything from ocean to ocean. Yeah, he had a lot on his plate. He really did.
Man,
And that's the thing. Like, I don't know everything, right? So if you ask me to take you fly fishing, just because I'm a fisherman, I don't know shit about fly fishing. So I'm probably not going to be the guy for that. I feel like that is how kayak fishing tournaments fit into the realm of bass boat tournaments, right? They don't know the space. So you don't know how to run it. You don't know what the rules and regulations should be. I mean, that to me, that's just asking somebody to do something that's completely out of their scope of practice. And I don't think that was a good move.
yeah,
Crazy. We'll see how it goes.
yeah. We'll see how it goes.
Ryan, I'm gonna let Jason get out of here, man.
All right.
Nice. Hey, I
Jason-
appreciate you
before-
having me on.
Before you slide out, give us the JT info. How do we get a hold to donate or support JT? Is it savejt.com? Is that the right?
SaveJT.com. If you want donate directly to the lab, just click on the link that says about the doctors, and it brings up the link to our fund at the University Pittsburgh, and you can donate directly there. And obviously, there's a GoFundMe page on there. But you can also hit any of his social media links and click on there and give him a follow and follow his journey.
That's awesome, man.
Hey, we love you, brother. I'm serious. Wish you nothing but the best. I hope you have the most success. I hope to see you on the elites, and I can't wait to fish with JT. I really can't.
Awesome. All right, guys. Hey, have a good night. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, there we go. Jason Borofka, JT update. That was awesome. So and good talk about bass. I know this is a kayak fishing deal, but we still like talking.
Oh yeah.
Whatever.
We're out here fishing.
Whatever.
Playboy.
Whatever.
We're out here
So we've
fishing.
had Ryan Harder patiently waiting in front of
I'm
all.
so
the Z-Man
sorry.
stuff.
Yeah.
Let's slide him in here now. There he
I'm
is.
sorry, Ryan.
Up,
We
guys?
didn't forget about you.
No worries, no worries.
Had a lot to cover. A lot to cover on the JT side.
Absolutely. No, that was awesome to kind of hear an update and see how he's doing. So that's great to see he's doing so well.
Are you coming to Icast?
Yeah. So I have a 7-week-old in the house here, so I'm out in the garage.
yeah.
The little man cave. So she's hopefully asleep right now, and I'm just having a little quiet time before I go to sleep. But I'll be headed down to Icast on Wednesday morning. I'll be there through Thursday, so should be a good time.
Sweet. So you guys swing by the Z-Man booth and see Ryan if you're going to be down for Icast for sure.
So the question of the
Absolutely.
day, Ryan.
Yeah, we got
the
a lot
question
of
the-
exciting new stuff.
Yeah, the question of the day is: are y'all trolling us, or is this Hellraizer a real thing?
This is a real thing. It's right here. So it's been really cool to kind of show it to people and sort of tease everybody with it and kind of hear what everybody's thoughts are. Anytime a truly new bait, all the time there's copycats in the industry and there's people basically redoing something. Everybody's made a jerk bait, everybody's made a crank bait, but trying to come up with something that's truly its own. Even like the Whopper Flopper. I mean, it's an amazing bait, but guess what? It was designed after something that came before it. And so
Then the Choppa was designed right after that, ironically.
Yeah. So, if you're not familiar, in 2004, Ron Davis came out with the chatterbait. And obviously, Brian Thrift started winning tournaments on it almost immediately. It was kind of hush hush, and then people started to see pictures of this chatterbait, and they started to hear about it, and they started to see a few, and nobody really knew what it was. They thought, you can't just throw a blade on the front of a jig and call it a chatterbait and it's going to catch fish. Well, guess what? We've been working with Ron ever since then on different bait designs. A couple of years ago, we came out with the Willow Vibe, totally different type of chatterbait design. Catches a ton of fish on really high pressured spotted lakes and a couple other places around the country. Very unique, specific bait. But another bait that we've been working with Ron on is this Hellraiser. And like you can see there in the picture, when you first look at it, you're like, what the heck is that? And really, if you watch this video here, you'll see that there's a couple of things going on here. The first thing you're going to see, obviously, is that you've got basically what almost looks like a pencil popper body, but thinned down. And then on the back of that, you've got a blade that's got a weight on it. And everybody's like, what the heck? Why did Z-Man just throw a blade on the back of a pencil popper? And I get it.
It looks like a hodgepodge of pieces. Like it looks like somebody dumped some pieces on your desk, and you were like, "All right, I got this. Hold on."
Like a couple of Z-Man plastics were laying around, touched each other, hardened up, threw a blade on the back.
Something like that. Ron Davis, he's such a cool guy, but he absolutely only wants to fish lures that he has made himself. So whether it's the chatterbait, the Willow Vibe, now the Hellraiser, he's a tinker. He loves to mess with stuff. So the first prototype that I ever saw of the Hellraiser, it literally was basically a wooden dowel that had been ground down to this general shape. He had a wire sticking in the back with some epoxy. I mean, it was a homemade lure. But the first time we threw it was when we were like, okay, this is totally different than anything we've ever thrown before. And it just kind of took off from there as an idea, and we've been working with him, and we finally are able to bring it to market. And it's crazy, but I'm telling you, when you throw it in the water and you hear this thing and you feel the vibration, it is literally a top water chatterbait. And I'm telling you, there's nothing like it. The bass have never seen it. We talk all the time about the fish see the same thing, even the jackhammer. Guess what? The fish have seen it 1,000 times. It's a fish catcher, absolutely. But they've seen it 1,000 times. Well, they've seen pencil poppers. They've seen whopper ploppers. They've seen buzz baits. There's not a whole lot of fish that have seen this Hellraiser yet. And I'm telling you, it catches fish.
I've got two questions for you. Number one, does it float? Like, if
you
just kill it, does it float?
So, no. So think like when you're fishing a buzz bait. When you throw that thing out there and it hits the water, it's going to sink. But as soon as you start to reel it, it pops right up to the surface. This is the exact same way. So when this thing hits the surface, because of that weight on the blade, it's going to drop straight down. But this cupped face on the front, as soon as it starts coming, it just shoots straight to the surface. And to me, it's just like fishing a buzzbait.
Great. My second question is, how long until Berkeley makes one? No, I'm just kidding.
Tomorrow.
We will see.
They're debuting it tomorrow.
Spoiler
we will see.
I'm just kidding. No, that's pretty bad to the bone, man. Yeah. Jesse Halverson says he wants one just off that description.
So it sounds like a turbocharged like shower blower. So like it sounds like it's a bait that has a lot of action, but you've added with that blade, obviously, a lot more vibration associated with it. It almost looks like a little needle nose gar bait with a. It looks like a little needle nose gar with a blade hanging off the back.
And one thing, when you watch the video and you actually see it in the water, and you think if you're the fish behind it, like we're looking at it, and we're like, all right, it's got this weird long body, and then it's got this weird blade contraption. But really what the fish are seeing is they're seeing the flash, and they're seeing this feathered treble hook. When you start looking at the camera angle, looking up at the back of the bait, they're not seeing all this contraption. I mean, it's got rattles inside. It's got a long, slender body. But honestly, that adds to the castability. Yeah, it adds a little bit of profile, but that's not what the fish are keying in on. It's almost all the fish are coming up and eating square at the back. And one cool thing about this bait, so you notice in the video, it walks side to side, but that blade is basically staying in the same spot. So whereas like a traditional pencil popper or any kind of walking bait, it's shooting side to side. And a lot of times you get fish they're swiping at and they miss it because this thing's going all over the place. Well, this has the side to side action, but it's not actually going to the side back and forth. The tail is staying in place. So the hookup ratio has been really good on this bait.
So that's what I was going to ask about keeping fish pinned with that much weight on the blade itself. If a fish comes up and is grabbing it from behind there, are they able to shake loose with that weight on the blade?
In my experience, no, just because this hook is still completely free from the blade. And honestly, when it collapses, that weight basically sits down right in front of those points on the treble hook. And we've had awesome hookup ratios, and they stay pinned really well.
See that thing again.
Yeah. Look, put up some them detail shots, Jeff.
I'm thinking
So
Florida, man. They're always targeting those fish, the pinfish, whatever the heck that swim around down there in Florida. Looks like it'd be a killer down there. I don't know.
We've caught tons of fish in Florida.
That fish is brown. That's a brown fish.
That's a brown fish.
Yeah. Let's say as soon as I say that, I scroll to a smallmouth.
What would it take? Let's say if you had like a pro team guy going to Susquehanna in like I don't know about 9 days, what would it take for him to get a Hellraiser in his pocket?
Just a few days.
Okay, all right.
Maybe make something happen.
No, seriously. I mean, this looks. I mean, obviously like nothing else, but that's one of the reasons I wanted to have you on here to talk about it is because it looks like nothing. Like it looks like somebody just completely, made this thing up.
Yeah, and then look where the line tie is. Like
I know.
Down,
like I mean,
up under, almost under the bait. It's crazy.
Yeah. So that line tie positioning, we actually had to play with that a lot because if you put the line tie too far forward, it kills all the side to side action. It doesn't actually walk side to side at all. But if you put it too far back, it tends to want to swirl. So we had to get that just right. But where we've placed it, that's why it has that tight walking action. It's totally unique. And because of the weight on the back of it, one thing I was worried when I first saw it was I thought it would helicopter when you cast it. But this thing casts like a bullet. It throws a long ways. Mm-hmm.
We got some questions coming in. Matt Zapala from the Northeast. What sizes will it be offered in? He asks.
Yeah, so we're going to start off in just this one size. It's a 5-inch bait, and it's got a 5/8 ounce weight in it. So,
all right.
And really, I mean, to me, it casts almost like a 1 ounce bait would. Think like I would say it probably casts about the same as like a 110 Whopper Plopper or something like that. Maybe even a little bit better.
Somebody asked what retail is on them over on YouTube, Southern Fishing Nut.
$14.99.
Okay.
Really? What a bargain.
Yeah.
For a topwater chatterbait, we can go up on that. We can probably hit 16.
Now you got to pick between a topwater chatterbait or a jackhammer.
Right. We can probably up the price on that.
I'm glad you didn't try to make that the name of it, like some sort of combination.
Topwater
chatter top.
Topwater jack.
The top chatter.
Top hammer. The top hammer.
Who was it? Picasso. They came out with the shaky vibe or something like that. Just don't do that.
Get out of here.
I like Hellraiser. That sounds good.
Well,
Michael Trask asked,
fun.
he asked if changing the hardware, like changing the trebles or whatever, does that mess with performance if you changed out the hardware?
Yeah, so you'll notice there's a slightly smaller treble hook in the back, and we actually did that when we added the feather treble hook, and it just gave it a little bit better action. I've played around with it. I put all the way up to size 1 treble hooks on it, and it runs fine. To me, I like to have a little bit heavier hooks on it just because when I do hook a fish, I'm burning them in pretty quick. You can go lighter to slow the bait down a little bit more, but it really doesn't affect the action a ton, especially because that back treble hook isn't really moving a whole lot.
Yeah, and we get a lot of people that listen to this on just audio after the fact. So if you're checking this out on the podcast later, just go to zmanfishing.com and you can see all these pictures that we keep talking about on the live stream here.
We're trying to describe it in detail, but
the top chatter.
We got a lot of pieces here. A lot of pieces here, folks.
Yeah.
It's looks pretty awesome. Matt Diesel asked, does it come in black? And it looks like it says on that graphic, matte black. There's one matte black.
Matte black. When we were designing it, I got help with all the colors on it, and that was one of the first ones we insisted. We got to have a matte black. I got to have a chrome because I'm from Hartwell. And you better believe I've already caught some striper and largemouth on Hartwell on it. Yeah, it comes in a lot of cool colors.
Amazing.
Got purple deaths there at the very back. That last color there, that's going to be your smallmouth killer, I think. But
Purple Death.
yeah.
I like the name of that. Chartreuse shad, ghost shad. Ghost
Ewing Minor says all shad are white. So as long as it comes in white, that's all. That's all.
we got to snow.
All you need
We
up
gotta
there.
snow.
He
Snow
he
and
taught
bone.
me that at Susky last year when he almost knocked off Jody Queen. So
Yeah, that's my father-in-law says that, Ryan. He says, them shad never change colors. I don't know
He
why y'all
said-
changing it.
he said, well, we were debating on which side of the river was clear water and which side was muddy water, and he said all shad are white. Just went out there and laid the wood to us for 2 days, and I was like, damn it, that little ginger was right. He was exactly right. So I learned something right there.
Hey, Bobby Tinker said you guys could have used that Saturday night. Is that true, Ryan?
Bobby, I couldn't have used anything that was going to help me Saturday night. I threw Ned rigs, Carolina rigs, Texas rigs, jackhammers, buzz baits. I could not buy a single bite on Chickamauga. I gave everybody a I don't know, 2.5 hour head start because I had my daughter's birthday dinner, and I got out there as the sun was going down, and I don't even think a fish even looked at anything I threw all night long. I loaded my stuff up at 2 a.m. and headed to the house.
That's funny.
Yeah. There wasn't nothing raising hell. Nothing raising hell on Saturday night.
The Hellraiser could have saved you. Yeah. When are these things going to hit retail stores? Like in fall, or what are we talking
So
about?
we're expecting on mid-September. So you'll probably see them hit retail stores early October, somewhere in that time frame. So, yeah.
So Jamie Koza
around
had
the
him
corner.
Jamie Koza had him 2 weeks ago.
Send me one.
That's how that works. Dugout got him 2 weeks ago, boys.
Snatch one, Ryan. I'll pay $20. I'll pay extra.
Ooh wee.
There we go.
You need to talk to the other Ryan then. You're talking to Ryan Harder. He can slide you one for 20 under the table.
All right. No, good stuff. Yeah, we don't want to keep Ryan too long. I know.
Yeah, no.
We kind of ran a little late with you, but cool stuff. Somebody said in the comments, it's really awesome to see someone actually produce a lure that no one's seen. It's not a
That was
remake
David. That was David Romanis, Calco's fishing owner.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. David.
So,
you know, it's not a remake or anything. It's truly unique. It's cool.
That was one thing. So Z-Man, we haven't done a hard bait in a long, long time. And if anybody knows our old hard baits, we won't talk about those. But, when we decided to sit down and say, all right, if we're going to do hard baits, we want to do it right. We want to do it different. And so that's why we put a lot of time and effort and R&D and trying to figure out, okay, what bait is actually worth coming out with. You'd be amazed as a lure company how many prototypes. I don't think I got any in view right now, but there's a lot of prototypes we go through that don't ever make it to market that you never see. And so, when we come out with something as Z-Man, we want it to be something we're proud of. And I think the Hellraiser fits that bill just right, though.
Awesome. I can't wait to see it in person. I really can't wait to get it on the water and see how the fish react to it. Anytime you throw something new, it's usually like candy for the first 6 months or so that everybody else figures it out.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
Yep.
And who doesn't love topwater? Something new topwater. So it's going to be awesome.
I like it. Ryan, I will see you in a couple days once you make it down.
Cool.
Give me a shout. I'm flying in tomorrow, so I will be on site at Icast starting Wednesday morning.
There we go.
Sounds good.
All right. Yeah, Ryan, thank you, man. Thanks for being patient on waiting on us there, buddy.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, but
No
have a good
problem at
night,
all.
sir.
So, and if anybody has any questions on any of the other new products, we've got a ton of cool new stuff coming out. A lot of micro finesse baits. We've got a new micro swim jig. A lot of cool stuff. So go to zmanfishing.com, go to our Instagram, YouTube, all that. You'll be able to see all the new goodies from Z-Man.
We are perch fishing in Sweden for Hobie World, so I'm planning on taking over some new finesse gear. Yep. I'm planning on taking over some super finesse gear for perch fishing. I talked to Shane about that about 2 weeks ago.
There you go.
So hopefully we can make an impact on the Hobie World stage.
There we go. It's going to be good stuff.
Sweet.
Great show as always, Ryan Lambert, that is.
Cool.
Ryan and Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan and Ryan. Yeah, we'll be looking forward to seeing you guys and seeing updates from Lambert down there at Icast. But we'll wrap this thing up for the night.
Y'all take care.
Adios.